Hey guys, National Master James Canty III here, and today we are looking at two tricks in the Scotch Gambit. Two tricks that you can start using right now today in the Scotch Gambit. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already so you can catch more content when we drop these videos. Let's get right into it. So here we go. We're going to do Scotch Gambit, guys. Let's get right into this. E4 is the move. The Scotch Gambit is different from the Scotch game, and I'll show you exactly what that is. E4, E5, knight F3, attacking this pawn, knight to C6, defending the pawn. Very simple. They're thinking most likely usually a Roy Lopez here or something like an Italian game, but we actually play D4. So if you play the Scotch game, this is what this would be right here. Pawn takes and knight takes D4 is the usual move played by Garry Kasparov and many other super GMs, and it is very well respected. It's also the alternative to the Roy Lopez a lot of times. If you were looking for something more aggressive, this is your route, the Scotch game. But there's something even more aggressive. It's called the Scotch Gambit. I was introduced to this back in 2014, and this was I haven't looked back since, to say the least. I actually am switching and looking at other openings because you have to expand as a player, but that's for another video. Today we're looking at the Scotch Gambit. Bishop to C4. I play this a lot and I love it, and I'm a big fan of it. So let me show you guys why. So many tricks and traps in this opening. It doesn't make sense. You'll definitely catch your opponent off guard, especially if you see weird moves. Knight F6 is usual mainline stuff, which that is faced with E5, and if they go D5, you go Bishop B5, and it becomes a theory battle here. You need to know your stuff. Now, they also have a move, Bishop to C5, which is more Gioco piano. If you play, it can transpose if you go C3 and Knight F6, and then pawn takes and Bishop to B4, you're into some mainline Gioco piano. You also have Castle, which is a hybrid version of Alex Fishbane, Grandmaster, who actually has a book on the Scotch Gambit that I went through, by the way. Didn't hit with the engine, turned it into the Jedi spin, and now we have some other stuff with that. So the Castle is an option as well. I'm usually playing C3 unless it's like a tournament game, then I'm probably going to Castle into the new stuff that I've learned. Now, going into it though, Bishop E7 actually is one of the alternative moves that is actually a move. More in like the closed, slow Roy Lopez kind of positions where you play Bishop to B5, and then A6 happens, we back the Bishop up, they go B5, we back this up, and the Bishop sits here on E7, a lot of times in the closed type Roy Lopez positions where you play Knight E5 and C5 trying to break in the center. So Bishop E7 seems fine here, seems quite fine. Now here, if you are a Scotch Gambit player, if you're not too, I want you to stop the video really quickly and actually ask yourself, what would you play as right here? There's many options. We're going to move on. So hopefully you paused the video and you got it right. C3 is the move right here. Pawn to C3. Seems very simple. Pawn to C3. What is this about? Actually, you know what? Some people are probably confused here. Like, I'm down a pawn. You always want to keep material even, or at least know the material count. I am currently down a pawn with the white pieces because I haven't captured back this pawn on D4 after he captured mine. With that being said, now if he takes this pawn, which you'll be surprised how many people take this pawn. You'll be surprised. I'm gonna just pause right there because I've had many players, even over expert, have taken this pawn in this position, which is insane. So pawn takes is wrong, absolutely wrong. Pause the video right now, and white to move. Devastating attack here. What do? Now, if you said the move was queen to D5, you are 100% correct. Absolutely. Queen to D5. This is the first trick. Let's go back. Let's look at it one more time. E4, E5 from the beginning. E4, E5. Knight F3, knight C6. D4, snap right on D4. Bishop. Oh, actually, no snap in here. We play Bishop to C4, which is the alternative, but this is the Scotch Gambit. After knight or Bishop E7, we play C3, and after pawn takes is queen to D5, hitting the F7 square. Black's in a dilemma. He has something to do here. He needs to answer this question. How is he going to defend checkmate? The only way is knight to E5. That gives up a piece. That's not a move. Have a good day. Knight H6. Well, we can try it, but that doesn't work. Snap in here. Have a good day. How about D6? Maybe run away. Well, let's see it in full fashion here. Queen takes. Have to go king D7. Bishop E6. Checkmate. Have a good day. It's over there. So there's nothing you can do. But if you are advanced, there's only one line that actually is permittable, playable still, even though you are on the bad end of this position. Let me actually show you what it is. It's knight to H6. After knight to h6, we do chop the knight here. Don't even think twice about it, because if we take here on h6, what this is removing the defender, is what the theme is of this tactic. The defender of the f7 square was the knight, and we snap here on f7 with checkmate in beautiful fashion. And again, guys, I'm going to do this one more time just to show you guys again what this is. This is the Scotch Gambit, and this is one of the tricks that you may see and face here, and you can start using it today, especially against opponents that you may play this. So bishop to c4, bishop e7, c3 is played, takes, queen d5, and just stare at him real hard through the computer screen, or like if you're over the board, you just stop and just stare. They played knight h6, usually is the move here. Knight h6, and then you take it. Snap that knight, and it's gone. The next move, though, what happens next is castles. Now, guys, this is very, very sharp stuff. What do you think you would do here? Pause the video and play a move. What would you do? Coming back to this position, you know what the best move is, guys? I don't know if you considered this, but it's bishop takes g7. What do you mean bishop takes g7? Why can't I just play bishop to c1 and defend this pawn on b2 and go up a clean piece? I just go back, because if I go anywhere else, well, that's just devastating. Like, why? Let's just start a new one. Nobody saw that happen. So you shouldn't allow this. But bishop to c1, if we takes, bishop takes, then we're okay. We're fine here. But you don't have to do that. Black has another move they can make, which is knight to b4, attacking the queen, attacking the c2 square at the same time. What do? We have to defend both. The only way to defend both is queen to d1, followed by c2. What a change of events. What a change of events. We were just up a piece. Now we find ourselves giving it right back. And now we're like, well, yeah, it's even, but not really. I mean, maybe in a case, I guess it is even, because Black's not fully developed here. But the king has to castle. Queen's in a weird spot. Yeah, this knight's, I think objectively it's probably equal, honestly, but this is not where we want to be if we played the Scotch Gambit here. We're trying to attack the king, when in this case we have to find a way to protect our king now and finish developing in fashion, which shouldn't be too hard. Queen e2, castles, and move the bishop or something, and have a pretty good day. But other than that, Black's not doing bad. So that's something to watch out for, guys. So the only move in this position would be castles. Bishop takes g7. Bishop takes g7. Now king takes g7, and then knight takes c3. The usual move here is now d6 for bishop to e6. What I like to do, and what I show a lot of students here, is queen to h5. The engine does not play this move. They actually go queen to d2. That's what the engine does. But queen h5, though, is my theoretical novelty. TN, what they put in books and stuff, because after queen h5, my plan, always have plans, is h4 and knight to g5 in nice fashion. Then castle and rook lift this way to mate the king. It's very nice. Have a plan in place here. Plus, it's extremely scary to have a queen over here, even though I'm not doing anything right now. I can't take anything. I can't even check him if I wanted to. But it's just scary to have over here, and it's going to do some devastating attacks after h4, knight g5, castle queenside, and rook lift for the checkmate. That is trick number 1, guys. Okay, that's the special tactic, special trick number 1. Let's look at number 2. Here we go, right into it. This is the second one. I was lucky enough to get this over the board. I was so happy. Oh my goodness, like I couldn't believe it happened. I got this over the board, and this was all theory, by the way. Here we go. E4, E5, knight f3, knight to c6, d4, Scotch Gambit territory, pawn takes, bishop to c4. Very, very, very simple, right? We just went over this. Now, bishop e7 is what we looked at before in the first trick. The second one is in mainline theory with knight f6. After e5, we attack this knight, but the good thing about attacking is that you can counterattack, and Black has a really nice counterattack here with d5. It's very scary here. If you are playing with the white pieces, you should not take this knight. I'll show you why. Looks are very deceiving in chess. I do have videos here on the playlist in Chicago Open, I think. You can check that out, but looks are deceiving in chess. Pawn takes c4. Pawn takes g7, bishop takes g7. Yes, his king side is a little weird, but I don't have to castle that way. Secondly, I can castle queen side. Another thing, the bishops are very active, and these pawns are not as weak as they look. This one's extremely strong. Well, how about check? Yeah, we're double attack. Checking them, hitting F5 or hitting C4 here. And they go bishop E6, defend the check, and also this at the same time. Knight G5 absolutely is a move. Then you have Queen D7, takes here. We take back with the queen. And if you end up trading, whoa, I'm down. I shouldn't be trading in the first place. This is not what we intended to do in the Scotch Gambit. Something's extremely wrong. So just for future reference, if you guys are playing this, if they do play D5, which is mainline, the best move, you actually just go to bishop to B5. The knight has two options, knight to D7 or E4. Knight E4 is the most aggressive and the best option. After knight takes D4, you have two moves, bishop C5 that becomes very tactical, and bishop D7, which is just like, you know what, we're just going to chill. None of the tactics, just not today, big fella. Bishop to D7. So after that, we do trade this bishop here. Bishop takes, pawn takes. We castle, get out of the way. Bishop to C5, just developing, and now this nice maneuver, F3 and F4. So we get a tempo. You could just play F4 in one move. The new stuff, actually, the new Canty Scotch Gambit, is F3, Knight G5. It's supposed to be Bishop to E3 here. That's more accurate. Now, on an advanced level, we'll talk about that another day, but Bishop E3 is the more advanced stuff. F4 is actually the older stuff, which I actually have a video, craziest Scotch Gambit I ever played. It's here on a YouTube channel, where my opponent played Bishop to G4, and I almost froze at the table. Never seen it before, ever. Never seen it. So absolutely, I went on to win the game, but it was indeed the craziest Scotch Gambit I've ever played. So make sure you check that video out. But F4 here, Knight E4 is the standard. That's the usual move. After Knight E4, we have a nice little pawn structure here. We're going to try to pry open the king. But let's see what happens. I go Bishop to E3, castles. This is still mainline, guys, straight out of the book. Knight to D2. Knight takes, queen takes, bishop back to B6 to push C5. We go knight to B3 here, and we're going to go back through this once again. You also have this video to go over and over and over, copy the moves down as much as you need to so that you guys can do this on your own as well. Knight to B3, queen to E7 to try to put some pressure here. We go queen to C3. We're going to put our knight right here and get very positional. The next move is F6. Pawn goes to F6. I put my knight on C5. Still theory, by the way, but you prefer to be white. I mean, everything's very nice and positional, and white's doing fine. Pawn takes, rook takes F1, rook takes F1, rook to E8. Rook to E8, guys. Now, after rook to E8, he's threatening to take this pawn. Or is he? Let's see. I make a move like B4 and say, you know what? I don't care about that pawn at all. And he takes the pawn. Oh, my goodness. Felt the shock wave on the board when it happened. White to move here, guys. Pause the video. Can you find this trick? This is straight out of the book. Trick number 2, Scotch Gambit. It's over. Start a new one. White to move. What do? If you said rook to F8, check, give yourself a round of applause. Pat yourself on the back. I just tossed you a lightsaber. Hope you caught it, because that's nice. Rook F8 check is game over. I was able to play this over the board. Oh my goodness, it was such a great feeling. I didn't even have to think the entire game. And this is move 21. If king takes, knight takes D7, and hey, have a good day. Everything must go sale here. It's just a fork. Very nasty fork. Okay, well, how about rook takes? That's the only other option. Well, you took the protection away from the queen. So the queen is just gone. What a beautiful move. It looks like this is nonsense, but it makes all the sense in the world here. Rook F8 check, and the game's over. Let's look at that one more time from the top so you guys can see this. After the following moves, the beginning moves here, E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, pawn takes, knight takes D4, bishop C4 is the line. Okay, that's the bishop E7 one, but knight F6 is the main line stuff. E5, D5. We never take the knight. We always go bishop to B5. They go knight E4. We take on D4. They go bishop D7. We take on C6. Pawn takes. Get out of the way. Castle. Okay. Bishop C5. F3 with tempo. Just to go F4 to hit him with tempo again. Knight E4. Bishop to E3. We start developing. Try to loosen up or make sure this diagonal is a little bit stronger. Castles, knight d2. When they cross the line, they gotta go. This knight is too far into our territory. Time to trade him while developing at the same time. He captures it. Queen takes. Rooks are connected. Beautiful day. Bishop b6. He's trying to play c5. We stop him and take over the beautiful square c5 because the square in front of the double pawns, or any pawn, usually is the most important square. Queen e7, queen c3. Now we can go knight to c5. Okay, f6 happens because he's trying to break up the center. It is your job to break up a center if you see one, and vice versa. You're supposed to actually keep one and like keep it if they're breaking it down. If you can. A knight to c5 right here, no problems. Takes. Rook takes f1. Rook takes rook to e8 and b4. Any kind of waiting move works. I like this one the most. b4 because it stops a5 and it also prepares a4, a5 just in case they don't take this. So I can prepare stuff and be good there. Queen takes c5. Rook f8. Oh my goodness. Wow. It hurts every time you see it. Rook f8 check. No matter how he captures. If he takes with the king, well, knight takes d7. Family little fork there. Maybe not a family because the rook's not involved, but it's a nice, nasty little fork there. Rook takes, then the queen hangs, and that's it. That is 2 tricks that you can use here in the Scotch Gambit. Okay, guys, I'm excited to show you guys this thing there. So that's pretty awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, make sure you guys subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel actually, and make sure you guys share this video. Comment in the video, which trick did you like the most? Did you like the first trick or did you like the second trick the most? Which one did you like more? I'll give you my personal one. My favorite one is the rook f8 one, but I've also been able to play queen takes f or queen d5. I've been able to play that a lot too, and that's kind of fun because you can win very fast. But this one's just beautiful to play. It's like, do you want to win fast or do you want to win beautifully? So which one do you like the best? Make sure you guys put the comments there in the chat. Also, you guys become a member of the GM Factory membership site where we post videos every single week, 7 videos a week, to make sure you guys are better players. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and have a good one. We in here.